So the first group goes up the stairs towards the painting. The servants try to block you at first, but once you explain that you're doing this at Lord Falcon's discretion, they let you by. So you approach.
I'm alone on this, right?
Hmm?
I think I'm alone on this.
Not
right?
all of you. Who's going for this?
No, I mean I'm alone on this, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
he's
you are
striking out
alone on
alone.
this. Yes.
I think-
All right. So first,
I think pretty much everyone.
make a strikeout alone check.
I guess I have a
lowest stat, so it's just one die.
Will do. Yep. So agility will do.
Yep, and it's going to be difficulty 3.
Well,
Oh, that is a success. So that's a partial. What does it say? I'm going to bring it up for this. Dun, dun, dun. Special actions, page 40. Dun, da, 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 da. Strike out alone. Haha! Partial is trigger or consequence. Okay. So, I'm just going to put a little cross somewhere, and that'll be my little secret. So, you move up the staircase and push your way past the servants, and you notice out of the corner of your eye, Lynn Eisler is like, she notices you walking up, but makes no comment upon it. So,
I nod at her.
yes, she nods at you with like a frosty expression, and then returns to whoever she was talking to. Anyway, yeah, like she looks exactly like a picture. There's like no smile going on there. Anyway, so you proceed up the stairs towards the painting, and yeah, the lush carpet is like soft underneath your feet, and the frame itself is golden and resplendent and incredibly void of paintings. What would you like to do?
Interesting indeed. I'd like to look at the frame itself. Like, how does the painting get attached to it?
Okay.
To figure out how.
Give me an observation check. Difficulty 4.
Observation.
Nice. You're so observant. Okay, so you look at it, and you see that the canvas is tied into it. Like there's bits of string that tie like the canvas to the frame and keep it secure in there. And furthermore, you notice that each of these strings has been cut with a sharp implement. It looks like it was quite skilled work. Like you look into the inside of the frame to see if there are any fragments of the canvas, and there are none. Like whoever did this, the canvas was not touched in its removal.
This must have been a very skilled hand. What do I know about the painting itself?
That will be an education check, which you've already made. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll just remind you. It was painted by Yvonne Rosanel, and it's... Yeah, basically, she was a prolific painter. She was building up quite a reputation for herself before she tragically died. And she died in the middle of painting this painting. So, yeah, as a result, it gained kind of like a mythos around it. You don't know too many details behind it, because you only got a partial success. So the painter wasn't exactly scandalous, but she was like surprising. Because people didn't expect her. They didn't expect much out of her. And then she was like really, really successful while she was alive. The painter was something. Yes, thank you. But yeah, you don't know too many specifics about anything beyond that.
Good.
So wait, Rosadel, like our friend Alana, the painter?
Remarkably like that.
Interesting. Okay, so that's what I know about it. Did the painter herself have any family members?
With a partial,
Any
you have
of
no
the-
idea.
Okay, so that is covered in that. Okay.
Hmm?
So, what else might be worth checking here?
You can check out the scene in general, but if you're looking generally, it's going to be harder than if you're looking specifically.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask one of the people nearby.
Yep, plenty of servants
The
around.
staff, the servants, indeed. When was this last? When was the painting last touched? When was it revealed last?
Oh, well, we as per Lord Falcon's orders, we had it set up in the morning. Charlie oversaw it himself. He did. We stuck it
Charlie
up.
was the one overseeing it.
Oh.
Okay.
We stuck it up here. We put the tarp over it, and then, well, there it was. We were just waiting there until this evening. I mean, I didn't do it myself, but we're all pretty sure it was there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just figured I might as well ask if
Well,
just in case.
what are you asking for? Are you a Bobby?
No, I am interested in the painting. I am a man of science.
Oh, I don't know about painting.
I'm not sure if you know anything about science or even
What's-
know the meaning of the
what's
word
science?
but indeed, you just answered my question for me.
Huh.
I'm a man of... I don't even know why I'm trying to explain this to you, actually.
Well, is it like signs, like we've got out front?
Sure.
Oh yeah, well we know all about signs.
Yes. Signs.
I mean, I guess we need people to make signs.
What?
Otherwise, we wouldn't know where things are, would we?
What is your name, kind sir?
Frederick,
I
sir.
do have... Frederick, yes. You seem like a nice enough chap. I should
Thank
talk
you,
to
sir.
give you a raise or...
Oh.
Hiya, Frederick.
That'd be most kind of you, sir.
Okay, you did, yes.
I have Frederick. All right.
It was nice talking to you, indeed. I will go back to my business.
Oh, please, sir.
Yes. I guess I'll investigate the general
All right.
vicinity.
So, give me a difficulty 5 observation, Dr. Scott.
I believe. I no longer believe.
Ooh, you don't
Oh.
believe. All right. You don't see anything else around here. Like, you look around and you look at like all the servants milling about and polishing the banisters, etc. And you feel like if there was anything here at one point, it probably got cleaned away in preparation for the party.
Damn it. I think that's all I can figure out at the current moment.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, the camera. So, yeah, the camera does a shot of Travis looking perplexed, at the frame, and then the focus shifts, and we see in the background down the stairs the rest of you in conversation with Cassidy Mead et al. So yes, immediately, so the shot changes to you, and there's just like this tittering of laughter. It's like, as the group of ladies just like share their latest slight of whoever, and the latest piece of gossip. And would you believe she was wearing the summer hat in the winter? Oh, outrageous! But,
Have they noticed us? Or
yeah, absolutely. So the circle immediately opens as Madame Green approaches. And Cassidy bows her head and says, "Oh, Madam Green, so kind of you to join us. Please."
Oh, Cassidy dear, how nice to see you.
"Yes, of course, of course. And Lady Mustard."
Lady Mead?
Uh-huh. Oh, we don't have anywhere near enough time to chat to each other, do we? I've barely heard anything about you.
Oh, you know me. No's always a book. Never out and about.
Always in the books. Well, she makes some inane comment, which is super sexist against her own gender, so I'm not going to say it here. And yes, so you're free to question her. There's a group of ladies here, and the ones that are significant are Cassidy and Clover. And they're sharing tales, etc. And are happy to just keep on gossiping into the night unless you interrupt them.
Is Elroy there as well?
Elroy is hovering. He's in a nearby group and he's kind of talking to them, but it's clear his attention is not on that group.
Gotcha.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's kind of talking to someone else, but is clearly trying to listen to what's going on in this group and is trying to move from one to the other and failing to do so.
Yes, I'm gonna engage in gossiping with them and try and lead in to use my newly acquired juicy bit.
Juicy bit. Yep, cool. Okay, so you can interrogate her to try to get stuff out of her and use that juicy gossip you acquired to get advantage on this.
Oh.
So how would you like to approach her?
Remind me, how does interrogation work?
So interrogation, you can spend evidence points that are relevant to her, and given that she is a shameless gossip, almost any piece of evidence will be relevant to her. You'll get advantage from having gotten that juicy bit from Madison. And if you can trigger one of her... Oh, actually, you don't need to trigger her price or her threat because you've already got advantage.
Huh.
So you can only get advantage from one source, so you've already secured advantage. Anyway, so you make a roll against her resistance, which currently you don't know what it is. I'll tell you when you do it. And that will allow you to do invasive questioning, just as long as you do any success. And then you hold your successes and you can spend them to get her to volunteer a piece of information or perform a reasonable service or accept questioning in a later scene. So it's if you can hold on to it and spend that whenever you want.
And how many dice do I use?
So it depends how much evidence you want to throw at her. So every point of evidence you use gives you an extra die. If you're not using any, you will only get the advantage die you got from Madison.
Okay, so we could spend it all and have 3 dice.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Unless we wanted to use the evidence that the painting was insured by Falcon and the evidence that Irvin was alone for an hour.
Yeah, so that'd be you gossiping about, oh, what could he have been doing in that time? Who. And yeah, it's basically using those to talk shit about the respective people involved. Also note that each evidence point is only good for one use.
Yeah, that's it. So if it's okay with the rest of the group, I'd like to use the Irvin was alone for an hour point.
Mm-hmm. We can do that. Do you mind if I talk to Elroy first? Because I think I might be able to grab a point.
Get a point
off him.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, we can delay my interrogation until the very end.
Sure. All right. So, who was talking to him? Was that Beth or Constable Chax?
That's Constable Chax.
Chax.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm
Miss-
working out people's voices. So, Chax, you approach Elroy, and he's talking to this guy with a monocle and like a long mustache. And
The Monopoly guy.
yeah, basically. And he, yeah,
Possibly a walrus in disguise.
yeah. You wait for an opening in conversation to approach, or don't. And yeah, they cede you the floor and say, "Oh, pleasure to be making your acquaintance. You must be," and he's going to make an education check. How hard do you think this is for him to know who you are?
Depends on how much he reads the news. If he reads the news a lot, then it would be not that difficult. Because it's how I got to the party in the first place.
You must be. Oh, I can't quite say. I'm Elroy Clarkson. Pleased to make your acquaintance. And the guy next to him says, "You ninny, this is Constable Chax, Saviour of London." Saviour of London.
Well,
my goodness.
I wouldn't put myself in that high regard. No.
What are you
Not
talking
at all.
about? The way you trounced those ruffians? Whew, capital, I say, capital. This here,
You give me too much credit, sir.
man should be running things here. The police should be under his boot, not the other way around. They should wear his uniform. Yeah, I'm sure. So, what brings you here? A hero amongst us ordinary gentry.
Oh, I had a gracious invitation from Mr. Falcon. Yes, he invited me to this soiree to see his new piece of art.
Oh, well, I hope you aren't disappointed.
Well, hopefully, the butler finds it at some point. You know,
I'm sure it'll turn up. I mean, something that big, you can't keep it hidden for long, can you?
Oh, of course not. But I really wish he would have invited me along to the hunt.
Oh, the hunt. Well, I would have given him my space in it in a moment, you know? Not much for hunting me.
Oh,
Well,
yes, I understand.
Not a game,
yes.
anyway. He winks.
Oh, so I noticed you hunting Miss Mead a little bit.
He like instantly blushes. Like he goes full red. And the mustachio guy just like shakes his head. So I haven't got a faintest idea what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, no red-blooded man would give up a good hunt, especially not for high tea with the ladies, unless he was hunting a little something of his own.
Oh,
and I wink back.
Yeah, he's like real flustered, and he's just like is laughing awkwardly. It's like, oh well, perhaps, you know. It's like it was quite good tea. You know, it's an excellent company. She's a fine lady. Her and Clover both. Yes.
Oh yes, of course.
He like takes a sip from his wine.
I give him a pat on the back.
He like
No worries.
coughs on the wine.
No worries, my boy. No worries. Men have to do what men have to do. There's nothing to be ashamed about at all.
I mean, don't tell anyone that, all right?
Oh,
especially not her,
I wouldn't.
please. He says, not realizing she's literally like 3 steps away.
I wouldn't dream of it, good sir. Wouldn't dream of it.
Then you make like PC eyes at the other group.
Yes. So my dear boy, did you notice anybody walking around beside yourself and the two ladies, and of course the servants, before the party started?
I can't say that I did. I mean, we spent most of it in the tea room, of course. And I mean, apart from Charlie and a couple of the servants, I didn't really see anyone.
Good. I see. Do you happen to remember who the first to arrive back from the hunt was?
Oh, Falcon, of course. I mean, they all came together.
They all returned from the hunt together. I see. Yes.
I mean, I imagine that's how they arranged it. I mean, before he left, he gave everyone those whistles, so they keep track of each other.
Of course. Interesting.
But, well, I mean, I didn't really need my whistle, so I just let him keep it. Frightful things make an awful noise.
And so, Mr. Falcon kept your whistle, you said?
Yes, I didn't need it. I think the ladies kept theirs, but, well, not that we ended up using it. I mean, we had plenty of banter going back and forth. Didn't need to stir up any of that infernal noise. I can be quite a sparkling conversation,
Of course.
And the guy gives you a look like, no, he can't.
So, did anybody happen to leave during tea?
Oh, well.
Maybe to use the loo or to powder their nose?
Use the loo? These are ladies. No, we're all there the whole time. I mean, dare I say, I mean, I quite had them entranced with my charms,
I wouldn't doubt it. Out of character, does anybody else have anything that they need to chat with Elroy about? Any other questions that I'm missing?
He is such a dork.
He tries very hard. All right. Well, I mean, we can swap over to Cassidy conversation. Then, if anything else comes up you want to ask Elroy, we can do it back and forth.
Fair enough.
Oh, was that an ooh?
Yeah, just a thought. See if he knows anything about Clover's art studies.
Oh. So, you and Miss Clover and Miss Cassidy, all having deep conversation. Did her art studies seem to come up in this in your conversations?
He rolls his eyes. Oh, I wish they wouldn't. I mean, all she seems to know about or to want to talk about is this painter or that musician. It's almost like, my father always said that culture is lost upon the young. Now, I think he's right. I mean, what's the point of learning about it if we can't just enjoy it? It takes all the fun out of it.
Did she happen to mention a painter, Yvonne Rosadel?
I don't. I mean, I was paying attention to everything she said, of course. It'd be rude not to, but I don't remember that name coming up.
Of course. Very good. Yes. Very good.
Mm-hmm. So, meanwhile, 3 feet away, having somehow not heard that entire exchange for his own benefit, Cassidy and Clover are chatting with Madame Green and Beth Mustard. Mm-hmm. Quick question, Beth, Are you wearing like a
Yes.
mustard-colored dress?
Oh.
And Madam Green, are you wearing something that might be verdant?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, perfect.
Of course.
All right. So you can see, as you're talking, you can see Cassidy just like glancing down at your frocks and just being like trying to come up with one-liners. But yes, you have the social initiative, as it were. What would you like to talk about?
Hum-de-dum.
Let's talk art.
Mhm. Uh-huh. All right. So, you ask Clover about her studies, and Cassidy like immediately just like sinks a little. But Clover seems quite eager to talk about it. Oh, yes, I was just learning recently about. She gives you like a bunch of names which sound Russian or like Polish or something. It's like what they've been doing recently with like their spins, the techniques they've used, combining Renaissance art with modern techniques. It's astounding.
Are they all painters?
Oh, of course not. I mean, my education goes a bit further than that, of course. Yes.
Of course.
On my grandfather's side, of course, he encouraged me always to pay attention to the finer arts. But my great aunt, she was a musician in her time, you know, quite proficient with the violin. And so it is in her honor that I study the musical arts as well. Although I profess I'm not much good with violin myself. Still,
Weaver?
it is the knowledge of these things. I'm learning, you know, the history of the arts, that kind of thing. Because, you know, even if I can't hold the brush to save my life, I can at least spread the word of those who can. Knowing about these things, you know, for future generations. I mean, a painting may be lost, she says, just like gesturing subtly to the frame above. But as long as its memory persists, I mean, it's never truly gone, is it?
Oh, true enough. Be nice if we could remember what this one looked like.
Oh, I'd heard it was quite the masterpiece. I can't. Ooh. I dread to imagine what it was like when it was finished. If it was this good, it's like half. She doesn't say like, that's just me. If it was this good when only half completed, oh, I do wish I had a chance to see it myself. Yes. It's always about the paintings review, isn't it? Can't we talk about something interesting?
Cassidy, now that you mention it, it was a very long time since we saw each other, right?
Yes.
Saw each other here, I mean.
And all today I've listened to Clover just prattle on about her artists, prattling on about her inks and her paints. It's not prattle. It's important. Yes, it's... If no one else is interested in it, is it really that important?
Well, I imagine a fair number of us are here for it.
Really? Ladies, how many of you actually care about that frame up there? And there's just tittering. Exactly. No, we're here for the company.
Speaking of company, I heard that you had a bit of quality time with Elroy today.
Oh, goodness. I do wish he'd stop. And for once, the two of them seem to agree in that. Yeah, they just, like, give each other the mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, right. He seems just such a handsome boy.
Well, I mean, it's not that he's not handsome. It's just he's so dreadfully tiresome. He spent hours trying to take tea with us. It took us forever to get rid of him. He just couldn't take a hint.
Well,
Hours to get rid of him?
Oh, yes. I mean, we weren't going to spend all day with him. We were surprised when he stayed back from the hunt. I mean, aren't men meant to like this kind of thing? I mean, I didn't expect Falcon to have us go along, but, well, certainly Elroy.
Well, they can be quite dense when it comes to hints. How long did it actually take for you to shoo him away?
Ooh, not too long, says Clover. Must have been about, I don't know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, something like that.
Oh
But
dear.
once we got rid of him, we finally had a chance to talk about what was important. I guess I should be grateful. I mean, Clover got all the art talk out of her system. We could talk about something that mattered. Art does matter. Of course it does, dear. Of course it does.
But speaking of the hunt, did you know, Cassidy? I heard that Erwin ran off on his own.
Irvin?
He left poor Madison Marsh out there in the woods.
Oh, heavens! Well, I hope they're all right. The poor dears don't look like they can survive 5 feet from their front door.
Yeah, they seem to make it back all right, but it's very odd for Erwin to just up and leave them.
Well, I don't know. Put a man in the woods, put a gun in his hand. He's not liable for his actions at that point. I don't know, but it does seem awful irresponsible. But
Yes,
I
one
don't know.
wonders what he was
Are
up
these woods
to.
really that dangerous?
Well, Falcon at least wants people to think that they are.
Falcon wants people to think a lot of things.
Speaking of, when was the last get-together at the mansion here? I can't remember. Seems so long ago.
You mean like this?
Yes. I mean, Falcon
Well-
hasn't had a tea party in forever.
Well, the last time I was here for something like this was, months ago, it must have been, she says with a sly smile.
Hmm.
I think she likes smaller gatherings, you know? Just a couple of close friends, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm assuming this, was part of the interrogation.
Oh, right.
Uh,
No, this is just chatter. If you want to, ask her
well.
personal shit, then that can be part of the then you can, start to interrogate her and apply some mechanics. Right now, you're just talking.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
But, tell me when you want to make that check, and then you might be able
Yes,
to get
I've
some more
already-
out of her.
Some of the talk of it, but yes, I would like to start interrogation.
Cool. All right. So, what evidence are you using?
That Erwin was alone for an hour,
Mhm.
my advantage point, and maybe even we got a new one that Elroy left the tea party. That's very relevant to her. So
It is, but she already knows about it. So, as
Yeah.
gossip, it's not particularly juicy, especially since I think she's already told these ladies that 12 times over.
okay, yeah, we'll save that
At
for
least.
something else.
Uh-huh.
So 2 dice.
Sure. I mean, you've also got insured by Falcon. If you want to talk shit about Falcon.
Do you want to spend? Do you want to spend that one?
I'm gonna
I guess
leave that up to you. Because it
Okay.
seems
I
like
mean,
it would be good gossip.
So I guess it really depends on how likely you think that Falcon has any additional information for us.
Mhm.
Because if he has information for us, then that point could be used to interrogate him later.
I think we can
if-
find
if
other.
If you think he's telling us everything we know that we need to know, then that point
Yeah.
could be used. So
Yeah, you can hold on to that and try to use it against Falcon or someone else later, or you can use it now. Yeah, it depends
Yes, I
how
think-
sus you think Falcon is.
I think Falcon has some secrets, but I think we can find other stuff to pin it on him, like why he only has paintings in the lobby and such. But Okay, I'm gonna use Insured by Falcon.
Okay.
Everyone is gone and advantage, so 3d6.
Okay.
What's the difficulty?
So her resistance. Put it on the right there. Sorry. There we go. Her resistance is 2.
Oh,
She is very bad at keeping secrets.
good.
So,
What? No.
I know, right? Okay,
Yes.
so that's 3 successes. So you can ask her whatever you like, and you got 3 dice you can hold to get her to volunteer a piece of information, or perform a service, or you can spend one to have to question her at a later time. You don't need to spend these now. You can hold them for later.
Yeah, and that hold could definitely be used to have her manipulate Elroy in some way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think at least that we can hold on to these now. I don't have any pressing questions. We can just, in the middle of another scene, just pop over to Cassidy and ask something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you can either treat that as you go back and ask her something, or like you flash back to her having mentioned this, and it's like, now it's relevant.
Yeah.
That kind of
So
thing.
unless anyone has a question right now, I'd like to save all 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, you can still question her. Like, she's now
Okay.
open for invasive questioning, and that doesn't use up any of the dice. You can just be like, you had that sly fucking grin a minute ago. What was that about? That kind of thing.
What was she grinning about?
She's saying like the last time she was here for a big party like this was months ago.
Okay. Cassidy, what was the last get-together here?
Nice, get
You
together.
were here, right?
Oh, of course. Sometimes I think that that Falcon can't run anything without inviting me to it.
Yes, you are an integral part of the mingle.
Well, I mean, you do need too much honor. Yeah, give me an observation check, difficulty 5.
Ooh. Me or Mustard or both?
Whichever one of you is better.
Observation.
And you won't actually both do it separately because you can't actually help each other with this because this is just like something you might notice. It's not something you're both helping each other look for.
Okay.
All right.
Difficulty?
It's 5.
Difficulty 5. Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing going on. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Cassidy has no secrets.
None at all. All right. So
She's innocent.
So, I'm just gonna chat up Clover to see what she knows about this specific artist. Rosanel.
all right. Yes. The painter, her name was Yvonne Rosanel, if I remember correctly. She's quite well regarded. I believe. Let me consult my notes. Let me just remember which country they came from.
But yeah,
Was it Austria? Where was it? Let's say it was Austria, and I'll fix it later. Yes, they're an Austrian family, German, that kind of thing. They, her father, Manfred, he was quite a prestigious individual in, the court over there, and his daughter, unfortunately, was of quite poor health. But every ounce of strength she had, she put into her paintings. Some say she was born with a brush in her hand, but, well, sadly, she did die with one. Yes, the painting itself, I mean, I do wish I could have seen it, but well, hopefully we still have a chance to see it. It's said that the painting was finished, except for one part. It was a landscape, I think. Rolling hills of her homeland. And this woman in a summer dress in the fore of it, looking into the distance, gazing upon this hill. But instead of whatever is on that hill, it's just bare canvas. And so she never found out what the girl was looking for, or couldn't find it before she died. It's part of the reason that the painting is so famous. I mean, there's these stories that have sprung up around it. I was saying that whatever was on that hill was what claimed her life, or that the painting itself was actually finished, and that the empty hill was representative of something more, of the yearning that she felt trapped in her room. Well, whatever it was she was looking for, I don't think she ever really found it.
The cost of being sick, I suppose.
Indeed. Well, I have seen some of her other work, and it was quite remarkable. It's like she could take I heard she would spend time walking around her hometown, into the forest, into the hills, even had an excursion into the mountains at one point. And the vistas she beheld there were gorgeous. I mean, I've never been to Austria, but if they look anything like that, I would dearly love to go one day. But what's interesting is after she fell ill, well, seriously ill, that is, and could no longer leave the house, the paintings she made were even grander. It's like, at that point, her imagination was a wider world than the one around her.
Like she was painting like she was painting from inside herself.
Yes, I think so. It's like it's like the world around her didn't have anything to show her anymore.
Fascinating.
Well, it's part of the reason she's so famous. Being able to paint like that without a reference, remarkable talent.
Does she know when she died? Maybe I missed that.
She does, because she's a good student. It was some time ago. It was, I believe it was in 1841, almost 1920 years ago. It helps to have a timeline.
It does.
Do you have any other questions for her? Or for Cassidy, or you can swap back to Elroy?
Now, can I... This is where it gets kind of weird.
Well,
because
look, you're 3 feet away from each other. So
okay, so
you're out.
we freely share information, but do I know that he left at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, you're pretty close to each other, so you can have overheard that.
Okay. So, Elroy, I understood that you left tea at 1 o'clock.
Oh, silly me! Of course I did. Yes. Well, I mean, I went to stretch my legs, Went for a walk in the garden. Falcon, he talked it up so much, I figured I'd see what the fuss was about. Lovely tiger lilies they were. Lovely, definitely.
Tiger lilies.
Yes, tiger lilies.
Did you notice anybody out there?
Oh, well, I mean, Charles was tending the garden, a couple of the servants. I just was wandering back and forth. There's plenty to look at.
He was tending the garden at 1 o'clock.
Well, I believe so. I mean, once we were done with tea, that's why I left, of course. So went for a walk. His duties were done there, and he had other things to get on with.
Because now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they say he was tending the garden now?
Oh, they don't know
That's
where
why he was missing
now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was a thing or not. So
Yeah, like he thought he might be in the garden,
gotcha. Okay.
and Elroy reports having seen him in the garden at around that time.
Mhm.
Where he is
Okay.
now, who knows?
Okay. Think I have anything else for him at the moment.
Okay,
I have a final question for
please.
Cassidy. Now that I'm interrogating her.
Oh yeah,
So-
definitely write down the points you've got on people.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
even though we're in the gossip circle, I'm gonna try and pull her closer.
Mhm.
So, Cassidy, I know that Elroy is hovering about every day, but who's really on your mind?
So she's much cooler about it than Elroy. But yeah, she says, "Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about, madam." And then her eyes flick over to Falcon and then flick back to you.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
No, of course not,
Whoops.
Cassidy. I shouldn't pry.
I mean, no pride, no harm. It's just an innocent question. But no, I can't say I've got my mind on anyone at the moment.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So yeah, that's down to 2 points.
Yes.
So her resist goes up, but you've still got points to spend later on. Because yeah, the more you interrogate people, the more resistant they become to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very cool.
so that was like the end of that scene. So we've been going for about 2 hours. How are people doing?
I'm fine.
I could
Doing good.
definitely take a minute to grab a beverage of some sort.
Please do. All right, let's take 5. I'll plug my monitor back in, and then we'll move on.
Getting a beverage does not sound terrible.
All right, see you guys
Yeah.
in 5. Everyone, the party goes on, and the sun begins to set. You've come across some interesting information, but you're still no closer to figuring out where that bloody painting went. So you've spoken to Cassidy Mead, Clover Hastley, Elroy, the T group. You've spoken to Madison, Marsh, and Irvin, and you've looked at the quote-unquote crime scene, question mark? And so you've got some stuff to go on, but the painting still eludes your grasp. What would you like to do next? And feel free to discuss what you'd like to do next, rather than all go,
So, Charlie's been mentioned every single time. First of all, these people are socialites, and the fact that they all know the name of the butler is interesting.
Astounding.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Okay, let's be fair. Falcon knew the name of the butler, and the servant who spoke to knew the name of the butler.
And
Elroy did too.
Elroy also knew
That's
the
fair.
name of the
That's
butler.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But he
And
also
I-
spent a bit of time in the manor as well,
Mhm.
drinking tea and whatnot. So
But
it's not
I
out of
think-
the question.
So here,
But I
there's
do
two
agree.
things we could.
That is
Two
suspicious.
things we could. Yeah. So there's two things that we could do. Because I think either way, I want to talk to Charlie.
Mhm.
But the question is, do we want to tail him first?
Oh.
We don't know where he is currently.
Well, yeah, first you got to find it.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Mm.
But
Yes.
Well, first you gotta find him and, oh, what's her face? The, Austrian ambassador's,
Mhm.
Lynn.
Lynn
apprentice.
Eisler and Alana Rosenell.
Lana.
Mhm.
She has the same, The same
Oh.
last name as the dead painter.
That's a good point. That's a very
So
good
she
point.
might be a relative.
I don't know. Does that really seem like... I don't know.
That's a coincidence.
Is it the same?
A lot of people got that name.
Do they?
Do they though?
So, yeah, that's actually a really good point. So, I think that's got to be the
One of those two.
Yeah, one of those two have to be
Mhm.
the next one we talk to.
Mhm.
Although, I mean, it's always possible that the Austrian ambassador has motive, considering it's an Austrian painter. You know, oh, we should bring
Yeah.
this back to Austria, sort of thing. But
No.
Mhm.
I do have
would-
to mention that she did seem interested in the time that I was examining the frame itself. Or at least she showed
She
some...
did. She gave you, like, it was a conspicuous look. It could
She
mean
was
any
looking
number
at
of
me
things.
funny.
She was looking at you funny. Anyway,
She might be interested in me. Who knows?
I'll add that
Yeah,
there's a
she
couple.
might have a thing for
She might
bedraggled
like
science.
men in uniform. Scientific uniform. Anyway,
Scientific, yes.
you do also
She
have a
might be
couple
one
of
myself.
special actions you can take to gather information, such as asking around. So instead of talking to a specific person, you can like ask the room or ask the servants or ask whatever. If you have a store of information you can go through, you can dig deep to find out about a topic. And yeah, you can also stake out a location and tail people.
So who are we feeling first?
So yeah, if like you wanted to find out where Charlie was, for instance, you could ask around the servants and see if anyone's seen him, that kind of thing.
So can I spend like my action first to do an ask around so the others can choose better afterwards?
yeah, so you guys can like split your forces. You can strike out alone again, and that way you can get two things done.
All right.
Okay, so let's do that first. Madam Green, can you
Yes.
give me a strike out alone check? So roll 1 die, difficulty 4.
Ugh.
That's a big old fail. All right. So, you notice as you're asking people around that you're not the only one doing so. Let me just get some colors going. I'm just going to do that, and you guys can't see that. Monroe Jackson. He's also like going around and talking to people about the painting, and he's being a bit more aggressive about it than you are. Like he's cornering servants, he's talking to people, asking if they've seen anything, and kind of being a nuisance. But, you know, that's just him. It does make it slightly harder to do your job. So, you're going to take shift -1 to this roll. And shift -1 to anything you're doing in this scene. Because Monroe is making life hard for you.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna ask around generally.
Sure. So give me an observation check. And what are you asking about? Asking about Charlie?
I think. Wait, who's Charlie now?
Charlie's
Yes,
the
that's it.
butler. He's the one who
Yes,
no one knows
so-
where he is.
So do I only ask about one thing?
Yeah, you're trying to find out information about a topic. So
Okay.
you'll be able to get, you'll be able to find a witness. You'll be able to find local knowledge about him, and you'll be able to do something else that's wonderful.
Okay, I'll do that. Difficulty what?
Difficulty is 3 because he's pretty well known about here, and they are more than happy to talk to you.
Oh,
All right.
they're not.
Well, I mean, what you gonna do, right? So, ask around. So, okay, so you can find a witness to an event. So, or witness to Charlie.
can't,
Figure out
because
where he was
Well,
last seen.
It's shift
Those
-1,
shift
so I
minus-
fail all.
Oh my goodness, you super fail.
Yes.
Okay, yes, all right. So because you shift minus one, you're right. You get 0 successes. All the servants, either they've been put off by Munro, or they're just like too busy tending to the guests because they're short-staffed, and they just don't have time to talk to you.
Well,
You do, however,
I
get
tried.
more than one glass of wine thrown at you. Which
That's
is like
good.
not like literally thrown at you, but like they assume you're coming to talk to them to get wine, and they're just like, here you go, and then move away. So yes, sadly, you don't find out anything about Charlie. Camera shift to the other group. Where are you guys going? Who are you talking to?
Ooh.
So,
Yes.
Lynn
That's
Lynn
a
and
good
Lana
question.
are standing together, and they are chatting with various peoples. Falcon is still elsewhere, just like trying to stop fires from going out. Oh, sorry, trying to stop fires from starting. Getting them going out, that's your job. Monroe is being a nuisance. And yes, and you don't know where Charlie
Like
is.
any military man.
Of course.
Yes.
I did ask Mr. Falcon to be able to
Oh.
produce Monroe at a
Also,
later time.
also as you leave,
I don't
as you leave Cassidy, you do hear her start to talk shit about Falcon with that juicy gossip you gave her.